750 milliliter bottles of all rosé, all white, or a mixed bag. That's a standard bottle of wine. Nice and good. Not those tiny things they give you on an aeroplane, the full McCoy. So that's what you get in your choice of wine. If you spirits are more your thing, you actually get 5 375 milliliter bottles of spirits. So a vodka, a gin, a bourbon, a tequila, and there's another. What's another famous liquor that everyone has in their cupboards that I haven't thought of? There is a fifth, and a seven. Was that
Scotch?
Which one?
Scotch.
Scotch.
Scotch or whiskey?
Yes, there's definitely a Scotch in there. There's definitely a Scotch in there. Yeah.
Rum.
There is a rum. Thank you. Rum's
You're
the
welcome.
one I missed out. Gosh,
Okay.
What a sailing flippin' spirit, and I miss out the most famous sailing spirit. Now I couldn't find a small bottle of of spirits in my bar. The smallest thing I had was simple syrup, but this is apparently 375 milliliters. That's what it looks like compared to a standard bottle of wine. So it's still not a bad bottle of spirit, considering you get 5 of them in your package. In addition, you get 8 mixers. So there's things like a standard Red Bull, a sugar-free Red Bull, a ginger ale, and of course your tonics that you can mix with your beautiful drinks. So hopefully that settles that. We do have a selection and mix of brands or bottles of wines that we want to offer. I've purposely just not put them up because we might choose to swap them out now and then according to demand and feedback we get from sailors as to what they love and what they don't love. So it's more around a premium offer within this count. So we're not promising it's going to be a certain brand, but of course, if you order the bubbles, you're definitely going to get one of our Moet and Chandon bottles of champagne in that mix as well. So hopefully that answers that question.
Cool. Does anybody have questions about that question, about that answer? Move on to the next one. All right. So what does exclusive access to everything on board behind the velvet ropes mean? Can you give us examples of VIP only experiences?
I love this question because whoever wrote this in has been very good at reading all of our external communications and listening to every bit of training that we've given. What you might have noticed on the website recently as a result of the changes we made, we actually removed the stamp. You might see some stamps on our RockStar exploration pages on the website, and those stamps are the key value propositions we like to shout about externally. And we did have a behind the velvet rope stamp. That stamp's actually gone now because with the new mix we evolved the stamps to better share what we've got on offer. So I'm going to try and answer this question and also explain what it kind of sits under now. So priority access and early booking window access is what really this sits under. And I kind of mentioned on Monday, all of our RockStar sailors get a 2-week early booking window access to both shore things. So they get access at around 135 days prior to sailing. Shore things open for RockStar sailors is 120 days for the rest of our sailors, and around 65 days-ish, your onboard experiences open up, and it's 45 days for the rest of our sailors. So as a result of that, they're getting early booking window access. So they have all of the inventory available at their fingertips. So they're going to be able to get anything they want. That's kind of the aim. What we've also done behind the scenes is kind of 2 things. One thing is kind of priority access to experiences. So what do we mean by that? Before I answer that, let me just remind everyone about one thing, and this is why we've done what we've done. when we spoke to our future sailors and we were talking about how do you want to feel and how do you want to be treated if you were to buy into the suite proposition, we learned something quite interesting around our sailors, which some other customers in other businesses might not say. And their feedback to us is don't make me stand out and put me on a pedestal. Don't make a show of me and a fuss of me around others. That makes me feel a little bit awkward. So they said just discreetly help me get what I want and whisk me to wherever I need to be effortlessly. Don't make a big fanfare about it. So you'll notice that our experience has done just that. So I'll give you an example. In my airline land, one of the companies that I used to work for in airline land, they loved status. A big thing of flying in a premium cabin for the customers of that company was I want to walk by the other customers who haven't paid as much as me. And I want them to see that I'm getting special treatment. I want the red carpet on the floor. I want the segregated lane that shows that I've paid more. And we actually used to call even the baggage labels, they wanted snob tags. We actually called them that. They wanted their bags when they came out in the carousel having the cabin name on them to prove that they'd traveled in a premium cabin. It was about snob status. That's not how our sailors roll. That is just like, it's just too much. I feel really awkward. So what we've done is try and do private treatment of making them feel special and getting them the best seats in the house, so to speak. So priority access, for example, let's say in a virtual queue on the ship, if I entered a virtual queue and I was staying in a RockStar suite on board Scarlet, I don't know it explicitly, and no other sailor in the virtual queue knows it, but I go straight to the top. So poor old Alice is in a beautiful sea terrace. Sorry, Alice, but I come in on my virtual queue, staying in a RockStar suite, and I gazump Alice. I get next in line, basically next in line for the experience. But what is great is that Alice doesn't know that's happened. So I just discreetly get bumped to the front of the queue without being made having a spotlight on me, making me feel awkward. But I will just find that I ask for access to things and I just seem to get them really effortlessly. The other thing we've got are awesome RockStar agents. And our RockStar agents are empowered to pull strings. So if there's a way, they'll find a way of making something happen. And so again, it's a bit like in a restaurant. You wouldn't put the rock stars in on a table with a red carpet under their table to highlight their rock stars. But I kind of describe it as if you were a restaurant on Circular Quay in Sydney Harbour and you had a beautiful Circular Quay view, you just reserve all of the tables at the front overlooking the Royal Opera House for the suite guests. No one knows that. Everyone else has the most incredible experience in the restaurant. It's just you see the rock stars by the window. So that was another core thing as well, is we didn't ever want anyone on our ship to feel that sailing in a standard cabin is a lesser experience. It's all an incredible experience, and no sailor is less valuable or deserves less than another. It's kind of the opposite way around. If you've paid more, you've paid to access a few fast track experiences and access to some of the best seats in the house. That's kind of the way we look at it. From a point of view of what VIP only experiences do we have, we're still working through that. Because like I said, the ship is designed to be incredible. So it's not about designing the incredible stuff and only showing it to people who stay in the 63 RockStar suites. However, we might be able to provide within the experience we have one or two sessions of something that is only available to RockStar suite sailors. So again, they will just find that when they go to that experience, it's like, oh, all my pals who are sunbathing with me on Richard's rooftop are also with me in this experience. And the lovely thing we also have access to is Richard's rooftop. So whatever we do in Richard's rooftop will always be an exclusive experience for RockStar sailors, because they're the only ones who have access to it. Does that answer that question kind of okay?
I think so. Any other follow-ups? All right, and this is our last pre-question. What premium linens and upgraded bathroom amenities are included in our RockStar quarters?
I might have to pull in my phone a friend on this one, because I did phone a friend this morning, and that friend's name happened to be Anders. So thank you, Anders. But the picture actually kind of helps me out quite a bit here. What are premium amenities? Well, you can see one hanging up. That's a robe. And so basically you get robes and slippers if you're staying in a RockStar suite. So that's one of the premium amenities you get. The bottle sat next to the sink there is not the actual bottle, because I can see that that's not a Red Flower bottle. But if you our amenities on our shampoos and conditioners are provided by Red Flower throughout all of the ship. Even in a standard cabin, you'll have Red Flower products in the shower. But if you go into a suite, you actually get full individual bottles of those. So if you're in a suite, you not only get shampoo and body wash, you also get conditioner and lotion that's included there. Your linens, is it El Frette? Am I saying it right, Anders?
It's Frette, just
Frette, not El Frette, Frette. Frette.
Yes.
Beautiful quality linens. Egyptian cotton that will feel sumptuous on your bedding. So they're upgraded linens. So that's a lovely thing. And we also have, is it Matinol? I always get this name wrong.
Matamol, our mattress.
Matamol.
Yes.
Matamol. Okay, that's a mouthful, isn't it? Matamol. Matamol mattress, which is a luxurious mattress. And Anders was actually telling me this morning, which I didn't realize, it's eco-friendly and doesn't have nasty things in that some people are allergic to. So apparently we got a question around, does the mattress have latex in? And Anders had a little chat with the supplier, and apparently they were very, very offended that we thought that they might have something dodgy in their mattress, because it's eco-friendly and hyperallergenic and all loveliness. So it's just about deep sleep.
Yeah. You did perfect.
Great.
Chris, we had a few questions whether or not the sailors get to keep the robes and slippers, or if they're available for purchase.
Crikey.
Well, let me answer the slippers. So because of the nature of slippers, we're not going to reuse them. They come in a nice little bag, so they can keep the slippers. We haven't really said that about the robe, but I let Chris maybe improvise that one. But the slippers, even if they leave them behind and they've been open from the bag, we're not going to reuse them. We need to think about what we actually do with them at that point in terms of environmentally friendly, or what we can do with them. It's just not a good item to reuse slippers.
Yeah.
And do the
I
robes
just sort of,
yeah. I was going to say,
so
do the robes actually say?
Yes, the robe said that is the real robe hanging up in the real cabin. That's an actual shot from the ship. It's just we didn't have the right bottles on board at that moment in time when we took that photo. And just from Anders' point, well, just to answer that question, it's a tricky mix here. What do we turn a blind eye to? Let's put it that way. When sailors take things, versus what can we just is just not sustainable. Back to that viability diagram thing I did: desirable, feasible, viable. We can't afford for sailors to take the cabin home with them if they love things. And we do have a long-term ambition to create. Many hotels actually do this, where you can buy the hotel experience, or buy the items. So we would kind of think of it as in, how do you buy the ship? So if you did love the Matamol mattress and you thought it was really, it gave you a great night's sleep, you should be able to buy through us that Matamol mattress and not try and take it off the ship through customs, because that would be so good. So long term, we'd like to offer all of those things. Short term, we've got to keep an eye on what things go walkies, and maybe first up, take a more lenient view on, okay, it's gone walkies, fine. And then what does really walkies mean? It means it's a highly desirable product. Desirable products normally mean you can find a way of making money if you price it right and make it available to the customer. So I hope not everyone does take the robe home with them. But what I do probably think is they will be asking the question of, can I buy a fresh one? I don't want one that's been laundered a couple of times. Can I have a fresh, brand new one? And so as we move forward in the operation, we will find those highly desirable items and find ways of being able to retail them, because they're actually pretty cool fun. And we can make a little bit of money out of them. And sailors are actually prepared to pay the money and don't think that's a bad thing. Think that's actually a good service.
Yep.
Any other burning questions?
So Taylor Reddington had a question in regards to the room bar. Sailors who do not prefer to drink alcohol, could they potentially request to have other beverages replacing the alcohol, given that basic bevies are already included? So talking about non-alcoholic beverages like kombucha or sparkling drinks, is there an alternative for non-drinkers?
So at the moment, it's not in this list. What we need to do is just have a look at what might be a non-drinking package. Yeah, a pack of kombuchas. I love kombucha. We can have sambucas, because that's that's not alcohol free, is it? Oh well. No. We need to have a look at that. So that's the bit around. Alcohol was the main driver. It was very highly focused on alcohol. Of course, there are non-drinkers out there, so we just need to look at our processes and work out what's a flexible solution for them, or maybe we do add a special non-alcoholic solution into this. But what was quite interesting was the focus was actually around people wanting alcohol, and having that inclusive value proposition in the mix. Nicole, did I see something from Nicole?
Yes, I'm just saying, for us non-drinker, you do have non-alcoholic offering. For us non-drinker.
I heard that.
Us? Who's that?
For us non-drinker. We do have coconut water kombucha available in the minibar already. So yes, for non-drinker, there will be option for you as well.
And would that be complimentary as part of this package? I know it is for purchase also.
Yes, everything for Chris's VIP sailors are complimentary.
And do we have products like non-alcoholic beer and wine?
Yes, we have Heineken 0.0. Wine, I have to double check, but we definitely have beer that's non-alcoholic, and we also have non-alcoholic mocktail. So
there's an incredible non-alcoholic spirit called Seedlip. That's like, it's really quite fashionable. It wasn't really known 2 years ago. Now you can pretty much find it in every bar, and it's got the quality of the botanicals and taste as you'd expect in a spirit, but 0 calories, 0 spirits. And mixologists use it. And if you buy a bottle in the supermarket or wherever you want to buy it, you'll find it's just as expensive as alcohol. It's actually a really quality product. So non-alcoholic cocktails aren't just orange juice nowadays, which is pretty cool. They're actually really sophisticated drinks.
Would those need to be requested, or will they be available?
So yeah, things like those kind of mocktails, like a mixologist mocktail, you'd be able to find at the bar, because you do need a mixologist to craft it for you. It's yeah.
Are there any other burning questions? Feel free to just jump in, write them in the comments, and we'll read them out. Any questions outside of, I know we're probably venturing into a Pandora's box here, but while we have Chris here, outside of RockStar.
Hold on, before I saw RockStar questions before you put me on the spot for anything else. Well, I'm at it. What was Lindsay? Did I see something about having a party in your room? Are you already in party spirit?
Yeah, so the question is,
oh, go ahead.
if our rock stars or megas want to throw a party in their suites, is there a comfort limit to how many can join them? I guess this is
yeah, two comfort levels that are going to be in play for day one will be voyage well precautions. So we need to work out what's safe and secure, and what's the advice given for having private parties and functions. What's the limit to that? And then we're going to need to just empower our crew on board to use common sense and kind of get a feel for size of party. So in your massive suites, you know, you can have a lot of people outside on that beautiful sea terrace out the front and not feel too cramped. But if you're in one of the suite aft suites, you're not going to be able to fit as many people in there. And equally, your next door neighbors might not be too chuffed if you're having a massive party till 3 a.m. in the morning and they're trying to get their beauty sleep. So I think we're just going to have to play it by ear and use a lot of common sense and just see how things play out.
And can RockStar suite sailors bring non-RockStar suite sailors into their cabins and to Richard's rooftop?
Into your cabin, yeah, you're welcome to bring people back into your cabin. We'll need to, if you're traveling with people, again, within voyage well precautions, we're probably going to have a bit like, as you might have seen in the voyage well precautions, we have to put a maximum limit on the number of people who can sit at a table for dinner, who know each other. Might be 6 people maximum that you could sit with around the dinner table. Even if you're a group of 20, that's just what the voyage well and land-based standards will be recommending we do to keep everyone safe. So we probably then have to look at whatever those standards are as we fast track into October and sailing again, and pull those through into cabins from a point of view of recommended number of visitors or how many people you want to invite round for a party, so that we're not contradicting ourselves. So that's something we can look into. Oh, and Richard's rooftop. Look, the virgin answer is we love to break rules. So why would we be really strict and inhibit someone? We'd be really strict and inhibit someone if it actually degraded the experience for the people who paid for it. So again, we'll empower the RockStar agents to be the kind of membership managers of Richard's rooftop. We never make a promise, but we'll always say that we will do our very best to see what we can do. And if no one's in there, it's half empty, then why wouldn't we let a friend or two in? But we wouldn't be able to promise it. It wouldn't be a policy where it's like you're guaranteed to have 2 people in at a time. It would be down to the RockStar agent manager's personal view on the day as to what's the capacity of the rooftop right now? What's the kind of vibe? Do I think that I could allow a few extra people in and everyone still have a fab time discreetly? Wonderful. But we'll leave that to the RockStar agent managers on board to have that discretion to make that choice that they think is right.
Kind of like a land-based VIP club.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And again, it might be one of those things where we can let them in during the day on a port day because most people are out. But when everyone comes back from port and they all come up for their drinks, that might be when we have to walk around and just say, I hope you've had a lovely day in Richard's rooftop. It's now getting a little bit busier. what can I recommend somewhere incredible to have a drink in the main ship? I've spoken to the On the Rocks team, and they've got 4 bar stools waiting for you. There are ways of managing it, and that's what the wonderful thing of our service people is all about. They have all those tools to use.
Great. In Clayton's tour of the RockStar, the Massive, the other day, we saw the guitars and amps. Are they still part of the amenities?
Yeah, so I did say that we'd remove the rider, didn't we? So this is where I get, what's the word? Doing the Virgin thing and doing what we can. Oh, that's my dust spot as well. It's not just yours, Alice. I've got to turn my dust spot off before it comes roving in here and creating a racket. Amazing technology. I don't have to hoover anymore, but I get disturbed on conference calls. Right, it's off. So you would have seen in the music room in the Massive suite when Clayton popped in there that the amp and the guitars are there. They're there for now. We did have some stuff that we bought that's on the ship that was going to be part of the rider kit that we had. Now, if a sailor says one of the RockStar agents on board, is there any chance you could do X, Y, Z for me? They might have a look in that cupboard and deliver a surprise and delight element that's going to wow our sailors. But it's not something we're going to publish. It's not something we're going to promise. But our RockStar agents on board have a kit of stuff that they can dip into if they think that they can really create something very special and one of those surprise and delight moments that will really leave a lasting impression. So again, where we can, we're going to try and do something, but we're not going out there with a massive statement in your ticket price. You get a rider, so you have paid for this special kind of tailoring. We just use our RockStar service, seize the moment philosophy to deliver surprise and delight when we think it's right, and we can deliver it as a business.
Great. Going back to the question of alcohol, can sailors request to have alcohol removed from their quarters?
Yeah, if you wanted to, you just speak to your housekeeping team and just say, I don't want these items around me. Some people, they won't want alcohol around them. And that's what our incredible housekeeping team and RockStar agent team are there to make happen.
Is there any way to request that prior to arrival?
You could phone into our VTS team, our very special VTS team, and we could, because in such circumstances like that, I'm sure we could make a special request and ensure that message gets to the ship and see what we can do. Again, these are things where I'd say you won't see this on a website as a promise. You're not going to see it out there as an offer, but we're Virgin. Virgin is about helping people feel like rock stars. If someone has something that they'd like us to do, we listen and we see if there's a way we can do it within reason that doesn't fall over and we don't break our promise. But where we can, we'll do what we can for any of our sailors, no matter what cabin they're in.
Awesome. Are there any more questions? I'm just trying to keep on top of this on the side. Oh, yep.
Looks like there's one with regards to can a sailor who's with a mega RockStar who has the included transfers, can their friends travel along in the transportation?
You might be best placed to answer this, Alex.
Sure, that's probably why I unmuted myself on that one. So the concept is that we will be booking the transportation based on the quantity of people in the quarters. So obviously, if it's just a single person in it and the vehicle has space for another person, their friend would be more than willing to welcome to come along. But we will not be going to a larger size vehicle to accommodate the voyage with party.
It's really how Atlantic do it. If you get one of their limos included in your fare, or you buy their limo service, they basically say if you want to bring other passengers along with you, as long as they fit in the car and the luggage goes in the trunk, okay,
yes,
that's fine. You bought the car, but yeah. It's not. Yeah. They don't like in their limos you having luggage on the front seat and spoiling the car and things like that.
Exactly.
Are there options to book private spaces on Richard's rooftop?
I can't think of any private spaces on Richard's rooftop, but by working with your RockStar agent on board, if you wanted to create something special for a group of friends, we might be able to reserve a table at a certain time where you can come and sit down and celebrate a birthday or celebrate a special occasion. But Anders, Nicole, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm just in my head walking around Richard's rooftop and it's all very open and I can't think of any private spaces.
Yeah, it's pretty open. So unless you want to block the whole wing, it's difficult. So again, Sylvia, our super RockStar manager on board, will be able to do some magic, but it's going to be case by case.
Your best place actually is down on deck 15, isn't it? So, and I think I said deck 15 was what Richard's rooftop was on Monday. I am so sorry. I meant 16. 15 is where the Mega Rockstar suites are. But on the opposite side to tune up is that, what did we call it? The scene. Is that right? The scene? Yeah. That's a lovely lounge with floor to ceiling windows overlooking the sea. That's a space that potentially might be far better to ask the RockStar team if you want to book out for a private experience, because that really is private. You're tucked away, incredible views of the sea, and we can manage things in there very easily.
Okay, we have a question about sailors that have booked the RockStar quarters but saw no price reduction but now have less amenities. Is there some kind of make-up solution for these people?
We're looking into that. So I haven't got the answer right now. Have heard the that question and are looking into what's the appropriate action to be taken. So as soon as we have that, we will do what we think we need to do for those sailors. I think it's about 200 sailors that are affected in that manner, because basically they got the lead-in fare, which was the reduced fare prior to these changes taking place. So there is no technical reduction to the lowest fare that they managed to grab hold of because they booked in advance. We just need to look at what's fair and appropriate for now taking away some of these elements, or not taking away, but changing and deleting, yes, some elements post sale. So we're working on that.
And we do have some talk tracks and knowledge to try to de-escalate those questions that come in, but our team, our sailor services team, is also handling some of these on a case-by-case basis and making accommodations where needed. So if that does come up, just reach out.
Any more questions? No. You've just been so informative, Chris.
Wow. No, everyone's very calm and still. No one's like moving around or fidgeting. Say it now. Well, that's good.
If there are any questions that you have as follow-up to this session, please feel free to reach out to Chris, Taylor, myself, or Alex, and we'll get them answered. Chris, do you want to give a little intro about what we're doing next time? Not next week,
so
next time.
If you guys like this format, the Monday is going to be the little show and tell session, so to speak, where we'll talk ship about whatever subject you think is red hot and you want to hear about. And that then gets recorded, published that day. And then people, the team, crew around the world on board ship or on land get the opportunity to watch that when they get a chance. And then the Thursday session, like today, is the live Q&A sesh. And we'll follow this format if it works for you going forward. And we believe the next red hot topic that you guys wanted to discuss was entertainment. So entertainment's the next one. And what is also brilliant is Clayton's still going to be on board Scarlet in 2 weeks' time. So we get to talk to Clayton on board too. That's the aim. And that's going to be 6th of July. Oh,
yeah. So no No section next week, but we kick back off on the 6th of July, and then it will be weekly because Chris has so much knowledge to share. We'll be going weekly from then. But we'll continue to do it virtually, even though things might change a little bit, obviously, shoreside. We'll continue to do it virtually, and we'll continue to record and share both the live broadcast and then also this Q&A session. So there's opportunities to make up for it if you can't join us in person.
Awesome. And I should apologize that I haven't dived into different enough this month. So I have my happy pride bird that the flamingos have invited over because they didn't think that they were different enough. So Parrot comes into the mix to create a bit of happy pride and celebrate our dive into different values. So I apologize that Parrot wasn't here on Monday, but Parrot's here now. So there we go. We can celebrate pride.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. And
we're closed. That is it. That was your chance. We're closed down, but back 6th of July, midday Miami time. So happy 4th of July next week to those who celebrate it. And we'll see you in 2 weeks-ish, or a week and a bit.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye, everyone.